Morning guys, James here from Sunseeker Southampton, down in a fresh Port Solent marina to bring you today one of the most exciting listings that I've had on in recent months. She is a 2007 Sunseeker Superhawk 43, powered by the Volvo D6 350s on stern drives. One of 78 boats made in total, and this one has just had a 70k refit. She is absolutely stunning, and today we're going to run her out to take some drone shots and prepare the marketing file for her to go online in the next few days. So this is going to be a unique opportunity to see what one of these is like up and running. As I say, a real special boat, seen in the James Bond film Quantum of Solace, this model. We did a few of these with Arneson drives, but predominantly they are built with the stern drives. 30 boats produced with the D6 350s that this one has, which was the preferred engine of the testers when these were first built back in the factory days, running from 2006 to 2008. This one, I say, is supplied mid-summer 2007, and she's just behind me here. So this is 00. Hard to really take in a full profile of just how beautiful she is here, stood on the pontoon, as we're quite close to her, but we'll get some much better shots today when we're out on the water. So check back in a bit. We've just got a lock to go through, and I'll talk you through a bit more about the works. So Superhawk 43s, the real superboat of the world. Say this one with D6 350s will be doing today in excess of 40 knots. A very lovely boat to cruise, sort of 30-32 knots. Economical to run. We're burning sort of 60-65 litres an hour at that sort of speed. Open the taps. It's a real performance hull, and it'll get on north of 40 knots, and it's the perfect day boat come weekender. So if I just spin the camera around here, you see in the cockpit here, this has been replaced. It's about £11,000 just for the upholstery alone, done by Sandbags Upholstery and Pool, one of the suppliers into Sunseeker. Beautiful Diamante double diamond Bentley stitching here on the seats, absolutely stunning. We've got the biscuit rolls on the back decks there with the piping detail, new teak decks throughout, bathing platform and what have you. You can see fully restored teak top here, brand new canopies. There's a full camper enclosure that does a windscreen panel in here, so the boat's usable in all seasons. We've also got a heating system which does the cockpit as well as downstairs. And being on stern drive, she's very easy to manoeuvre. Just sitting here waiting for our turn to go out through the lock. We've got retrofitted both bow and stern thruster controls here, so very manoeuvrable for those that aren't perhaps quite so au fait with driving boats with drives. Lovely detailing here, things like carbon dash panels. We're reading 670 hours on the engines there. Our boat's still in regular use with the owner, so just note they may increase slightly, as obviously the weather's beautiful here in the UK at the moment. So we've got Simrad VHF over here, a E120, actually a bigger upgrade version on the 12-inch chart plotter there, and then we've got a depth control autopilot banker switches down the front here for doing the main onboard systems. Obviously it's a real driver's boat, so you can see the way these seats wrap around you. Just come around, you can see the dropout cushion here to give you the standing bolster, so you really stand back into the boat here, feel very secure to drive these quickly. Got this lovely big stainless steel frame around the top of the windscreen here. So we're just going to head into the lock and we'll check back in with you. So you can see here we're just waiting in the lock here at Port Solent for a run out. Some other works have been done on here. So engines taken out, full check over, painted on the outside, and the engine bay's been cleaned through. Blackgam Marine have done all the engineering works, who are very well regarded local South Coast engineering company here. She's had a new lower unit on the port drive. Lots of little detail bits, things like LED lighting throughout the engine bay, LED lighting throughout the lazarette area. She's got heaters in both those areas as well to keep condensation out in the winter months. New Fusion stereo system, and then the main change downstairs, which we'll have a look at in a bit, is the full lacquering of all the wood surfaces and what have you to give a full restore and give an absolutely beautiful finish. I say the boat is about as close as you would get to a new one of these today. She's going on the market £249,950 tax paid. It's top money, I have to say, for a top boat. You are not going to find a better one of these anywhere for sale in Europe. say tax paid, here on the south coast, turnkey, serviced, ready to go, on the back of the owner's house in Port Solent. Viewings are arranged, of course, 7 days a week by prior notice, of course, in compliance with full COVID regulations. So yeah, check back in a bit and we'll be out to see what she's like at sea. So we're just heading out to the mouth of Portsmouth Harbour now, and if you spin it around you can see the two beautiful Queen Elizabeth class aircraft carriers here, which are just going through their final commissioning and testing. Big Portsmouth naval base, lots of further warships down here. And you can see from the helm you've got a choice of either standing here looking out above the screen, or if you tuck yourself down you've got the protection from buffeting from the wind there through the screen. Nice tinted bronze colour on that. I'm joined today by my wife Kim, also works with us full time. Kim's going to drive the boat whilst I'm flying the drone, etc. So just demonstrate how easy it is for handling. I say it's everything's wrapped around you here, so we've got nice temperature and pressure gauges. Everything's come up to temperature now. Nav screen and everything's all nice and close here. She's had a new steering wheel down in front of us here. Hydraulic power assisted steering, so very easy manoeuvring. We've got EVC fly-by-wire throttle controls down here. Tab buttons in front, so everything's wrapped around. It feels very much like getting into a supercar. So we're out mouth of the harbour. Everything's nicely warmed up and we're just going to see what she's like easing those throttles forward. So here we go. We'll let the turbo spool up and we're up and going. Speed on here you can see 20 knots. You see that nose is tucked right down at the moment. The drive's here running -5 and we're just going to start to bring the drives up to about 1. And let's wind her up and see what she does. Seeing that speed coming up, jumping up real quick now. It's a windy day, so the boat leans over a little bit, so we're just going to give a bit of trim tab to level her off. And we're up 39 knots. So we're on a big spring tide at the moment, punching tide, so we're achieving just over 39 knots. Running against the tide, and we're just going to stick her into a turn here and go back the other way. Look at that wash, absolutely mega boat. So we're still doing 39 knots in the turn. We're obviously running against the wind now, so we need to turn the tab back the other way. See that speed's coming up. And we're getting 41 knots, so two-way average of about 40 knots. So we're just going to ease that back. Ease that back, and then we can have a bit more of a sensible conversation. So back into a turn, you can see you can stick the boat absolutely door handles in the water if you want. I don't want to get it covered in salt, so just show what she's like. Banking over here, very docile, very safe feeling. Maintaining that speed, you can see as we stick it into the bank turns. and we drop her back off the plane to a tick over speed. So just have to be careful as you come off the throttles not to flood the back of the boat there. Let the stern wave catch up with us and we're back to neutral. See, grinning ear to ear, absolutely cracking boat to drive. If you're into performance, there is nothing else in the Sunseeker range that comes close to anything like this. So we're just going to get up now with the drone, take some nice running shots, which we'll cut into some video here, and then we'll check back in a bit to have a look around the inside and a little bit more detail about the work. Okay, we're just heading back in towards Port Solent after our run out successful trip. I hope you enjoyed the photos and the video that I've just put up there from the drone shots, and we're just going to take a bit of a closer look around the boat here whilst we're pootling along at sort of 6 knots. So in the cockpit here we've got a lovely big teak table. This folds up on the top here, and then the whole table stows down in the backrest cushion there, lifts up and it stows away. Very straightforward to do, literally just lift the base cushion out and it gives you then this big spacious cockpit for dining. The backrest here for the sunbeds can cant either forwards or backwards here, so it gives you either seating in the cockpit or, as they're set up configured at the moment, a sunbed. You literally just put your hand underneath, lift them up, and there we go. So fabric, so it's a Diamante Silvertex fabric done here with two-tone double stitch Bentley infill centres there, very very pretty. Teak decks all replaced by Elite Teak. This is a transom shower on the back here. We've got a centre bathing ladder. So new Fusion stereo speakers out here as well. Up top you can see we've got a radome 24 nautical mile radar up there, status TV aerial, all your running lights etc, twin VHF aerials, and then special low level, you can see there almost flush to the deck, sun pad cushions here just to try and give the aesthetics a prettier look when you stand back from profile. Up forward here we've got an upgrade to a stainless steel anchor and an upgrade on the chain as well, stainless steel. Nice Lumar winch, all protected under the deck there. So you notice you've got bow rails both sides, making it very safe to walk back aft here. Our boat's yet to be detail cleaned on the outside, so literally put back in the water last week after anti-fouling and preparation works. We'll have a look when we get back in. These are the lift up hatches to access the engines for maintenance works. Under the centre floor locker here we've got a large lazarette currently full of fenders, so we'll have another look at that in a sec once that's all cleared out. Opposite here, port side of the cockpit, we've got a wet bar with a griddle, replaced cockpit fridge, little sink there for hot and cold water, and a storage cupboard there. Battery isolators hidden in the cupboard. See, we've got LED low level deck lighting, and again up in the arch here, and then coming down into the accommodation below. Just stand here in the doorway so you can take in the space. It's obviously a very narrow deep V hull, not a lot of room with head height and cabin accommodation, more of a say day boat weekender. We're 44'3" overall tip to tip, and one of these beams about 11'11" in old money, so very narrow, and you can see split forward we have this lovely raised double bed. And then in the saloon here, these are bunks, so this backrest actually hinges up, and there's two fittings up in the ceiling here and here to hold a strap that then holds that level, and you've got two single beds. Quite handy if you've got kids and what have you. A big feature on this particular boat was the restoration of the wood, so it's all been taken off the boat, re-lacquered, as by this age normally the satin finish on the walnut here starts to show its age and often gets some sun fade and what have you. So beautiful table there. Of course, things like the manuals, we'll go through some paperwork in a bit. Lovely sprayed finish. This is factory finish up on the sides here, and you can see all the headlinings are absolutely beautiful, nothing sagging, no clips broken, first class. Across here again, all the wood's been re-lacquered on the galley, new galley fridge unit. We've got a single burner gas hob, sink and what have you. These upper cupboards house the electrical domestic system and also the 240 volt system, and then some basic storage for provisions. We're on UK 3-pin sockets, which will be easy enough to change out for EU if you wish, and then a nice little TV on the wall here. So absolutely stunning. Carpets have all been replaced. See no marks on any of that at all. And then if we just turn the light on in here, again replacement lights up in the ceiling there, and we've got a very functional all-in-one heads compartment, so vacuum flush dometic toilet, shower handset there with a curtain that comes across on the door here, makes the boat usable for a weekend away. So it's a good size. Basic facilities. Over here you see the new controller for the Eberspacher diesel heating, so it's also got outlets up in the cockpit, both down here by your feet, and there's another one in the aft seating area. There's a little worth noting, this lifts up in the middle, so that gives you another seat to fill in on the bench here for a bit more sort of social seating. And we'll just have a little look through the list of the main highlight work. So new V-burst mattress up forward, say carpets, the heating we've talked about, big service works on the engines, which I'll go into on the paperwork when we get back, and the drives as well. The retrofit of that bow and stern thruster system, the full canopies, polishing, anti-fouling, new steering wheel, fenders and lines. We've got 4 Ocean LED underwater lights, Fusion stereo with 6 speakers, all the new teak outside here, cockpit upholstery in that lovely 2-tone upholstery colours, new fridges both downstairs and upstairs. The clarifier is the hot water tanks been replaced, fuel tanks cleaned out, stainless anchor and chain has been replaced. Of course, a safety feature there with a new fire extinguisher system in the engine bay, all new soundproofing there, which we'll see when we lift up in a bit, and of course heating and lighting in both the lazarette and the engine room. So it's a comprehensive list. The owner has a file running into several inches thick here, which we'll go through in a sec just to show what's what, but all in all very, very solid. So we're safely tied back up and we're just going to have a look through the paperwork. So we love owners when they do this, as we don't get this with many boats that we come to sell. I'm just going to run you through what's what in the files here. So we've got everything's nicely itemised, so there's an original Sunseeker owner's manual there for the model. Worth noting, Coleman Marine do a Sunseeker Shield bespoke policy for Sunseeker boats. So we've got all the bills of sale, which go back to the year dot. We have the VAT documents here. Boat was originally in Croatia, and a builder certificate when the boat was supplied new back in 2007. So complete chain of title there, all in original. And then this is the manual of all the expenditure that's been done on the boat. So we've got everything itemised here, nice little headline summary sheet, and literally every invoice of all of the lights here, cleaning up propellers, painting the bottom, bellows replacement, big drive service on the drives, I say new lower unit on that port drive, so that's another £3,000 bill. Again, more works on the drives. There was a little bit of wear on one of the drive gears on that port shaft, which is why they ended up changing it. I say the bills just go on and on and on. I've got copies of all of these, so I'm very happy to share those with you if you're serious about talking about the boat specifically. Say heating systems, GRP works, teak products. It's literally comprehensive start to finish. Also some works done to the boat before the current owner had her, which is always nice to see. So all itemised there, ready to go. And let's head up and take a look at the engine bay. So accessing, as with all boats, somewhere there's a compromise. So on the back of these we have a fixed deck moulding here, which is removable for more serious engine works, and then we have two hatches either side which give you access to do your checks and what have you. So there are these storage trays that sit above the engines. I've just whipped the one out on the other side, we'll see in a sec. Handy to put your water sports equipment and what have you in. Storage for things like the shore power leads in the back there. So trays out on this sport engine, so we can get down and see below here how neat and tidy everything is. So turbocharged engines. Maintenance wise, these are the freshwater strainers on the front of the engines here. You can see the dipsticks handed to the middle there, easy to get at. Power trim pumps at the back. This is your hot water chlorifier tank that was replaced. Accumulator there for the freshwater pump. Sockets here for the heaters and what have you in here. So you can see the heater screwed on the forward bulkhead there. Huge void forward there. You could fit a generator in here if you wish. Very, very tidy. Nice dry bilges. See all new pipe work running through the bottom there. New C-fire system up on the forward bulkhead here. So to see a boat with 670 hours on, which is a nice clean engine bay like that, you could get in there in your socks without fear of marking up the cockpit here when you got back out. Very, very nicely engineered, beautifully finished. And reassuring that the mechanicals match the cosmetics in terms of the upgrades that have been done to the boat. So there you have it. Hope you've enjoyed that today. So if you're looking for something really, really special, I have to say this is an absolutely epic boat. Never going to find another one like this. Certainly this time of year, coming into the hot part of the season, fully prepped, you know, ready to go, nothing to spend on the boat. Absolutely A1 condition. I'll post up online in the next few days the full inventory and detailed pictures and what have you. But of course, if you wish to beat the rush, then please get in touch direct. We can talk about specifics in a little more detail. Contact as always is James at sunseekersouthampton.com or mobile +44 7747 686 587, and we look forward to hearing from you soon.